Dry dock means the ships are in the river, but yet they're up out of the river. And those are the Bethlehem Steel shipyards, and that's where they give a ship what they call a shave and a haircut. They can paint the hull of a ship in 24 hours. On your right, the yellow building where it says Hoboken, Welcome, Industry. Please, if you join us, we're sitting down. Thank you. You want to point out your own site, go below? Thank you. All right. That used to say just a tea plant. The town of Clinton wasn't only internationally famous for his food merchandising, but also for his great sportsmanship, and more about him later. Hoboken is the birthplace of Frank Sinatra. When the wind is just right, on your right, quite an aroma that comes from the Maxwell House coffee plant. They grow 3/4 of a million pounds of coffee a day. The handle on the cup is an engineering and science school with students attending from all over the world. 85% of the students are living on campus. They have a student body of 1,500 boys. They just enrolled 20 girls. What a ratio! 1,500 to 20. Do you know what they're building over there? A canoe. Well, that's not so world-shaking. Anybody can build a canoe. But what out of cement? You're going to see something on your own. I can't tell you what it is, but people see it anyway. It's so big as life, whatever. Well, anyway. And now we're eating with what was once Pier 48 and 8th Street and inland Greenwich Village. 68,000 people make their home in that area. The rich, the poor, the rowdy, the refined, the interesting, the dull, the discotheques, the beautiful art shows displayed out on the sidewalk in and around Washington Square, where the famous Fifth Avenue begins. Sanford White designed the art. She was a famous architect and came to a very bitter and tragic end, all because of Edmund Ness. And they charged lead to drop them on the rooftop, as you can see, and doing water on the inside. But that was the first world passenger terminal. One of the forts that used to guard Upper Manhattan Island. See? It's an old Dutch site, and on it there's a 7-story building with green dormer windows. That is the U.S. Customs House. It was around that area that Peter Minuit bought Manhattan Island from the Indians for $24 in trinkets. That was 1620, September 1850. She is buried in England. But anyway, we are approaching a beautiful lady on your right.
You go. Statue of Liberty.
Thank you. Agreed. Oxidation took place. She looked so nice that way. They decided we leave her that way, but now they discover that the green patina is protecting her from the wind and the rain. Everybody knows she's a gift of the people of France, and she's going to be 95 years old in October, and I wish I looked that good now. She was dedicated in 1886. Grover Cleveland was then president, and he attended the dedication ceremonies. At one time, you're permitted to go all the way through the arm, but now only through to the crown. Don't be surprised. People are watching us now from the square windows that form the diadem of her crown, because Miss Liberty and Miss Circle Line are the two ferry boats for $1.50 round trip all year round, and they go there. And maybe you'll see exactly where it's from. Now, the book that she's holding in her arm is a copy of the Declaration of Independence. In fact, it says July 4th, 1776. Now, you know, and the new American Immigration Museum is at the base of the statue. Now, you notice we are beginning to list, and I just always automatically now is on your right. I promise you'd see it if you listen the first time. And that's Liberty State Park over there. I didn't get her in my house. You know what he did then? He went down to the snack bar, he saw her there, he discovered now that she's guaranteed not to tarnish. We have an exact replica of her there, down at the snack bar, and that is the end of the commercial. What country manufactures the souvenir statue? Corn Cubs Route 9, but it reaches all things. becomes Broadway again. They tell us that the longest street in the whole world is in Toronto, Canada, Yonge Street, Y-O-N-G Street. I thought it was Broadway. Do you recall seeing the Academy Award-winning picture, The Apartment, with Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine? That's where they did the filming for the office sequences in and around that building. On your right and on page 8, the lower photograph. That is Governor's Island. Many of you know that that used to be the home for the Dutch and the British governors. Then from the 1700s up until 1966, that is where the first Army headquarters used to be located, taking over 1,000 troops at all times. Well, that was all moved to Fort Meade, Maryland. The Coast Guard training school was in Connecticut for years. They relocated. They're on the island now. And there are 1,500 people living on Governor's Island. The Governor's Mansion, we don't see it over there, but we don't see it on the other side. And I'd like you to see a round swap building with a big gray cannon on top on your right, never shot off an anchor. That is there since 1811, and it is called Castle William. And that used to be the jail for the First Army, and that's the lower part of page 8. And when the Coast Guard moved there, naturally we were curious. Could it still be a jail? They said, oh no, it'll be our day nursery now, our tea club and our Boy Scout meeting place. They can't heat it in the winter, so there's the river from Liverpool to Wallasey. But what's top is it connects two countries, Italy and France, the Mont Blanc. This one is 1 9/10 mile long, and the air changes in there every 50 seconds. We're leaving the Hudson River now. And since we're traveling northeast, we are entering now the East River, not a river. It's a tidal strait, a body of water between two other bodies of water. The mouth of it, or the estuary, is there to your left, the Salisbury, where the big Staten Island ferry boat that you saw. They have become steeplejacks when they help to build tall skyscraper buildings in Manhattan. To your left, on page 12, all the 100-year-old buildings are gone down here. These are just a few years old. That first one is number 1 New York Plaza. It's a privately owned investor building, and we gave it a name. We couldn't resist it. They don't even know we call it the Waffle Iron Building. Doesn't look like waffle irons to you. And the white one next to it is number 1. Is the president expected today? Somebody is. They usually land down here. Possible. I was hearing on radio already. I wanted to see the plenty of Wall Street. It was at that. The building with the gold on top was a municipal building. The statue is called Civic Fame or Civic Virtue. The one with the pointed top is the U.S. Federal Courts building. That tall white one with the design of a bell on this side is the new telephone company building, not for offices originally. Now they have offices in there. The ceilings are 18 feet high. It was mostly for equipment. We're going to go to these 19 bridges. Before I describe the bridges, I want you to see cargo ships on your right coming here from all over the world in Brooklyn and east. And it's very elegant in there. It's black on the bottom, white in the middle, lots of windows. And the food is very good. It's gourmet, and it's expensive, and I haven't been there yet. Here's the first of our bridges, a famous Brooklyn Bridge. It took 13 years to build it from 1870 to 1883. It was built by the Rosen family, a German family. And when it was built, you know that automobiles were not invented. It was for horses and buggies and pedestrians, so they charged a penny to walk across it, 5 cents to bring cattle across it, and 10 cents to bring horses and buggies across it. World War I shells were found in the Salisbury area right there. You read about it early in the spring. You can stretch up and look. At the head of it is suspension. There's the fleet launch over there. This is also a suspension bridge. It looks different though because it's French in architecture. Manhattan Bridge. The subway train rumbles across this one, along with the bus and trailer trucks and cars every day. Thank you. Big lots of cheers from here. Tells you what country it's going to go to, the design and colors, the smokestacks, the companies associated with. Cargo ship just came in. There's a tugboat, which helped it in there. You're going to see, for those of you interested in a new invention, it's called a gantry conveyor belt. See it? It's a slate grade device where it used to take 12 days to load and unload cargo. Now it only takes 1 day, or 12 hours exactly. 12 hours. That one I'm not sure of. I didn't see the flag yet. The brown buildings to your left are the Corridor Hook Apartments built by the Ladies International Garment Workers Union. Straight ahead of us, the Williamsburg Bridge, also suspension connecting the Lansing Street on your left with the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn on your right, and on your right, major highlights in it. And also, we have 5-in-1 masks down there. On shore, they want $2.50. On board, $1.50. It contains everything you need to know about this city. And you don't need a magnifying glass to read it because it's very, very large print. I want to thank you folks ever so much for your very kind attention. If you only understand a little bit, I thank you for your patience. I'll be back. First, shortest commission. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, Williamsburg Bridge. New York Hospital, Cornell Medical College, School for Nursing, Hall of Residence, New York Hospital, granted a charter 1771 by King George III, having 1,500 beds. They have a staff of 1,000 doctors and a staff of 800 nurses. They do transplanting, their heart and kidney. The late Shah of Iran last year had his first operation there. On your right, on Roosevelt Island, that's a swimming pool. I thought it was a hot house. And some people there pay $4.50 a month, and condominiums, some are subsidized, and no dogs are living on Roosevelt Island. Did you know that Frank Sinatra used to own that apartment house, trimmed in aquamarine? He used to stay in the penthouse. He sold the whole, and anyway, he lives in that 18-room house. Ladies, he's a bachelor. 18 rooms. He just fired his fourth cook, so he had to hire his fifth. Someone said the other day, this parabolic box could very well have been. There's three of our boroughs. Directly behind it is the Hellgate Channel Bridge. At one time, going through the Hellgate Channel was considered very treacherous, and they called it the ship's graveyard until the Corps of Engineers blasted all of the debris out of there, now making it quite safe to go through. The British patient Palliser sunk there, deposited the treasure of gold coins. Well, the federal government tried twice and can't get near it. It's too deeply embedded. It's still there. What are we waiting for? The big white building you see to your left of the Metropolitan Hospital. It's also a teaching hospital, and they take care of 1 million patients a year. Much of the needy in the city and many recent immigrants. I'm sure some of you watch the Waltons on TV. Michael Lerner, the mother, she's doing a new series called Nurse. She goes to work every day now over there on the 5th floor. So they turned that into a TV studio now. Just the 5th floor, I mean. Yes. We're leaving now the East River, not a river. Now we're in the Harlem River, same thing. Beginning at 125th Street, that marks the beginning of Harlem. And they built it adjacent to, on your right, the Roberto Clemente State Park. First one within the city limits. The only one that looks like it has any lights is that with the red drapes or flowers in the window. It is. That's a basketball court there, and that's swimming pools, and that's an intermediate school. This is 7 years old. This was the former Consolidated Shipbuilding Corporation. They said after World War II it was a big mess of rubble for years, and the first one turning became like
that I wish I could give realization to all those blessing me. If I could.
They do that all the time, movies in there, and they have a restaurant
with the sea down below and the
there. And at night it looks like daylight because of sodium and mercury lamps. Then on your right, little Dutch-style homes all in a row dating back to the 17th century. One looks like it has gables over there. See that? So might want to see the porch.
Americans can't say I didn't do my level best.
And he did it now. Captain has sort of slowed down.
With the proof.
He did. See that?
All right.
You know why?
Still on.
Over there. Here, that's those little those houses are private. And the little vessels in front of them are very costly. And they're very fragile. See, he doesn't want to go past here creating a wake.
You've become a movie star now, Mother. You had to come America to America to become a movie star.
What the president twice to run away.
Coast Guard Distillery have a boathouse there. That's the Diamond Valley Housing Project, built for the best after World War II for the overflow. And that's another Con Edison power plant. They converted from coal to oil and gas. This island of Manhattan, New York City, what we're circling around today, is a very slender island. It's very narrow. It's 13 and a quarter miles long. 2.5 miles wide is the widest part, which was the 14th Street power plant area. The narrow spot is right there to your left. 1.5 mile wide, called Sherman Creek. Off to the back of the valley, go to marina and restaurant.
You don't know what to do with yourself, so you sit down and say that I'm suffering. Otherwise you can't enjoy. You have a
Up here in the Bronx. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is one of the 9. We have 9 Con Edison. They're doing something in there.
You are making me really self-conscious now because they are perspiring.
That's what's very good. They're doing something. They're going to pull something up there, aren't they?
Much too much. Now can I sit down?
So big here. And you feel like you just do anything with it, there's always more space. And England being so small, every little bit is precious.
No, but in India,
Same thing, yeah. I don't know what it is.
I mean, that's how you lose everything. I mean,
Exactly.
they make the man look so insignificant.
I always wonder how these lovely people come from all over the world and all over the states. If you have been down on our subway,
I like the rock pillar.
you know, we are very embarrassed and very ashamed of the graffiti. But if you want to know where the children do this terrible thing, it's over there to your left. And it cost the city in 1974 $4 million to clean it all up. And the men who have to clean it have to use a very strong and dangerous solution called acetone, eating right through the thick gloves they have to wear to protect their hands while they're doing it.
Vibrations of awful.
And you know, I found out, and I thought it was over, you know. I thought it was all out of their system. They said they were artists and they had to express themselves, how about on canvas, but I found out recently it still costs the city $40,000 a week to try to keep it clean.
Really?
And it goes right back on
For
again.
this area,
Our
it
subway
costs
train takes
$40,000 a week to
13,000
keep it
trips
clean
a day,
from the vandalism.
6,500 subway cars, 1 million passengers fares
Oh,
yearly.
to keep them
One good thing about the subway, there has rarely been a report of a serious accident down there.
to keep the subways.
On your right in the Bronx, the Fort Hill Housing
I asked
Project,
Dr. Moody, I said, why there is so much
and we have a
traffic?
brand new Cambridge Veterans Administration Hospital, it's a big white one up there.
Why there is so much
And they're going to build a nursing home up there too.
Why everybody is not having any family, nothing. Just go on the street.
I think you'll be a little surprised to see mountains of salt coming up clean on your right.
What to do? Just fertilize.
We use the salt in the winter to keep the city streets free of ice, sleet, and snow.
They have a right to what
This is salt water we're traveling on, and yet we made a living as fishing in these waters. We still fish, but we don't make a living at it.
stay here longer.
We often see people fishing all over
Run away.
during the tour.
He was practicing so.
We are now approaching, we will be going around the blind bend. Besides us now, we are entering what is known as Sightseeing Creek.
Never comes to
Sightseeing in Dutch means in spite of the devil, that's in quotes. Many years ago, a Dutch trumpeter wanted to get a message over to the other side. He was carried for Peter Stuyvesant. It was a wild, dark, stormy night. There wasn't a ferryman inside, so he decided, I'll swim across. People became alarmed, don't do what they do. Then the Riviera Grande, or the Grand River, but it's actually called the Hudson
East
River.
side, and then now we're going through Harlem River. We're crossing across here.
That's Henry Hudson.
This is the Hudson
The
Bridge.
statue of Henry Hudson. Yes. These two turn green, you see, these are
The
close
park,
to
Inwood
there.
Hill Park. Then we come down to Washington Bridge, and then we join the
Yes, yes,
terminus.
no, not all the time. Yes, we know.
right. We
It's
come
four
down,
train
Mother.
trains.
There is
You can see the
here's
railroad
Staten
tracks
Island,
in the
and
center
this is
there.
where he lives
And
here.
this is the part that
Then we come
opens
off
up
the bridge.
electrically.
Then we come up through
The bridge
Brooklyn
tender
Bridge.
operates it.
Then we go over Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes,
Then we go along the front. Then we go up to Central Park, like that.
no, just freight train.
Me, is that Staten Island? I think that was Staten Island.
I'm not sure if he's up there.
That's it there. Just past the Statue of Liberty.
We're back in, very good, he must be in there.
No.
Okay, all right, we're back in the Hudson River, 33 miles north of Southern Town of Sightseeing, means Rockapan, Rockin, Indian. 45 miles north of Center Town is West Point, Sleepy Hollow, Riffham, Winkle, and the Tappan Bridge, and Connecticut and Canada. 50 miles now up the shores of New Jersey are the rugged Palisades, attaining a height of 500 feet at some point. Natural rock formation, color of the rock is dark red. Remember when I mentioned Weehawken, New Jersey? Weehawken in Indian means tree stumps tied together. That's what the Palisades look like when you're up close as a result of millions of years of it so beautifully wooded all around here, still like this. The Rockefellers control much of this land. They know what's going to happen if they give it up. They'll build on it. They gave the city to your left Inwood Park, and you said, we were proceeding south on the Hudson River. And it was the Hudson River that separated New York on your left and New Jersey on your right. We are doing it again. But now we're farther north on the Hudson, so it isn't Weehawken, Hoboken. It's Englewood, Edgewater, Fort Lee, Guttenberg, Northburg, and West York, New Jersey. All right. If this has always been Manhattan on your left, we are back on the west side of town. Automatically, you're thinking of us wrong. We have a little monster here, or I'll tell you area. You better have this slightly now to break up the monotony of this on your right and on your left. Why don't you think east side, west side, everybody, all around and down, huh? You're starting it too high. The others won't do it. That's a little high for them.
But do it against the better idea.
Against the skyline. Let another stand near
I
me.
tried that side.
I was saying, why, oh, why did I leave Ohio? She was trying to tell us something, I think. Do you know what the people from Australia think for us? Walking Matilda. And we help them. Sometimes we have German songs, sometimes Irish
But
songs.
this is not
It sort of breaks it all up a little bit, doesn't
I've
it?
done it. Story is about the advent of the primordial master. That three deities of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, you know who they are. Their wives, with their power, felt, they say, jealous of a lady who was very pure, actually Anasuya. She is the power of the primordial. She's the mother. I mean, she was the primordial mother. She's the mother of all the women. And they said that this lady is such a chaste lady, and you must go and make her fall from her chest. She test her. And she was actually the primordial mother, Anasuya. So they went into her house. She was the wife of a very big saint, and he was out. And they said, we want, see, a guest who comes to your house can demand anything according to Indian Dharma. So they came in and they said that we want you to serve our food naked. Take out all your clothes and you must eat. Now you can't say no to your guest because that is your dharma. She said, all right, I will do it. And she said, as soon as she started sort of undressing, both of them became small little children. Three of them. Little babies. She undressed herself and the little baby doesn't understand anything. And she nursed them together. And then she said, now, she combined them together and that's how the Dattatreya, the three faces, innocence of these people, she brought them to their innocence was created. And this is the innocence of all these 3 days. Because Christ is the innocence. These three form this innocence part to balance. And at this stage they come here as a three. Innocence has the latent power of so Ekadasha. One of them. I mean the three main, but others are also powers of that. That's how the Ekadasha is called. So all that is in the boy comes here as Ekadasha. See this? Yes, yes, and this is Ganesha. Then innocence. See the innocence part. That. Alright? I mean, I don't know how one should have reached this thing. And Jains are the prototypes in India. Jains are. These Jains, are strict vegetarians. I mean, they don't take anything. Such strict vegetarianism they have that they don't even eat garlic. Now see, garlic is very important for them. They don't eat garlic, they don't eat onions, they will eat food at so the whole thing is around the food part. They are strict vegetarians. But the first disciple of ours who got Vedanta was the Gujarat. Was known as Chandubai. He was a Jain and his wife was a pure Jain and he hated all that nonsense. So he told me our Jains are very good because they are told not to eat meat or anything. So what they do when they come to America, they go to all the news clubs. They drink a lot. Only thing they don't do is to eat meat. They are rich people, they are very rich. And same with the Jews. The religion is limited to a little part of it. The rest is not missing. I mean, part of the void is there, not the 10 commandments. What can you do about it? I mean, how to bring sense into their heads, I don't know. I mean, they have become so sensitive now. I mean, fanaticism is a very, very collective ego, I think. It's a very big collective ego. It's a collective ego is collective. And it becomes, when collectivity becomes so strong, you start clubbing, like English people. They club by using spoons and forks. See, according to them, those who cannot use spoon and fork are not any. That's how they feel about it.
Well, all right. When the last 4 nights of the Italian Renaissance, therefore, the late William Randolph Hearst used the building of the Reed Pence House, occupying 100 rooms, used the Pence House as a playground for his children.
I'm glad that
Babe Ruth, many of you know, used to live here in the west side of town. All of them, they both agree. They're remembering when they were very poor. So even though they're paying a high rent here, it wouldn't be as absorbent as it would be in a penthouse on Fifth Avenue someplace.
House property.
Mark Avenue.
How does she remember all that? I'm surprised. It's a good memory.
People, recently have been asking about
a real estate book in there, Mother.
the